Um, what is one thing that, like, as a worship pastor, you really like thrive on or see in your job? Like, is it more so working with the worship team, or is it more so seeing people engage in worship as you lead us? Like, what is kind of like the moment for you when you're like, yes, this is what I was looking for?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. It's definitely some things come to the surface in my mind as far as serving with other people is always really meaningful.
Yeah.
Seeing the beauty of God's gifts given to people and working together,
Mm-hmm.
and then using those gifts to serve the church. So there's definitely something that I thrive on in that it's not something any one of us does alone, but we do it
Yeah.
as a team.
Mm-hmm.
And it can look different practically week to week or service to service, whatever. But I find I'm very encouraged by doing it with other people.
Yeah.
As far as facilitating those times of worship and even just practices and being together. It's kind of like a little family, like a little small group.
Yeah.
But the other thing I'll say is, too, there's certain people who in the congregation, again, they just worship and engage so deeply.
Yeah.
I often find them, they're leading me, and it's just cool to it's interesting because in the world, music and someone on a stage is the focus, and there's something about that
Yeah.
that's skewed to what God created music as a tool to worship Him. In these environments, it's like it's not about any one of us.
Yeah.
It's about Him, and so I thrive. I think when I feel like God's leading us and we're just focused on Him and not
Yeah.
distracted by things that
Yeah.
don't matter.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things just as a pastor, so my bachelor's was in music, and so I used to be on the worship team a lot at former places I worked, and I stopped when I started pursuing my like pastoral training. And my favorite part now, not being on the platform, is just being in the crowd of the people and like hearing someone just sing their guts out that has like the worst voice tone. Like, I love that. Like, I will
Yeah.
stop singing just to listen to this person
Yes.
who is tone deaf,
Yeah.
like worship out like so audaciously, because like scripture says, make a joyful noise, right?
Yeah.
But like, especially in like American culture, like people are like, well, if you can't sing well, you just don't sing, because like
Yeah.
like,
No. Yeah.
and
That's good.
so every time I hear someone who like who is not vocally gifted,
Yeah.
just like singing their heart out, like I find that super humbling and super encouraging, because
Yeah.
like I don't know if I would sing loud if I had a bad voice, and that's really challenging for like even as a
Yes.
pastor to be like, would I be that joyful and that carefree
Yep.
in musical expression of worship? And so
Yeah.
that's always something that I find.
I'm
really
reminded of King David,
refreshing.
and the ark is coming back, and he worships God through dancing
Yeah.
to where even his clothes fall off, is what scripture talk about. And his wife is mocking him.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and he said, I'll become even more undignified than this.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is something special. When someone
Yeah.
worships from a place, it's not about how they look. It really
Yeah.
isn't about that. It's about like this overjoy or this
Yeah.
expression to the Lord that's
Yeah.
sincere.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorite things. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question, and then we're gonna close today out. What is, since you do all the things, because you find all the things fascinating.
Yes.
What is one way that you find rest and refreshment?
That's a great question. I really enjoy I really do find rest and refreshment through like fixing things or working on projects at home.
Oh, okay.
So I think sometimes in ministry, some of the things we do are intangible, and
Yeah.
and I don't think it's necessarily because that, but I do just love something that is tangible.
Yeah.
So like I can't wait to get home. We built a garage. We're building a garage. It's been a long time, and we're putting the garage doors in. I can't wait to to get a chance to finish putting up the rails for the garage door.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I could be a garage door installer in the future because this is my second one, and I feel like I've got this down now.
Yeah.
I can see how people do this, but also how it's overwhelming when someone hasn't done it.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, I'm excited to put something together, fix something, build something.
Yeah, that's funny. I remember when I first started on staff, and I was preaching on Sabbath, and I talked to Matt Stitt, and Matt Stitt said that like when he needs to refresh like his brain and his heart and his mind, he mows the lawn. And I was like, hardcore judging. That is work. But for him, it's kind of like you. It's like the need to see something tangibly like completed. And it was just soothing, calming, you know. So that's kind of cool. You're like that too.
Yes.
I wish I could be like that. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on for today's podcast. I think this will help people get to know you a little bit more and understand you, so that as you're leading us into worship, they just know you better, and hopefully that helps bring us as a church family a little bit closer together.
I love it. I hope so. Yeah. And it's an honor and a privilege to serve our church family. So I do cherish that privilege, and really do hope that God is drawing us deeper as a church into glorifying Him and trusting Him.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. So that's going to be it for today, folks. But like and subscribe the video, and stay tuned because we'll have another one in 2 weeks. Bye.
Adios.